Hi, everyone. My name is Chris Sarsky, and I'm one of the consultants with the ARPDC Consortia. And it's my pleasure today to take a few minutes to step you through the curriculum support documents that have been created by your colleagues from across the province. Special thanks go out to Christ the Redeemer and Zone 1, who really took leads in starting this work off and invited people to come in and help out. So you've got colleagues from across the province that have been working behind the scenes and often on their own time to put together a document that we're hoping will really help to support you in the work of your new curriculum. So to get started, this document, this curriculum support document is what we're calling it, is going to be created for all of the grades in math and all of the grades in science. There will be a version of it for language arts as well. They will not all just materialize instantly. It takes a little while to upload all of these, but we are working on that behind the scenes as we are presenting this to you right now. So I'm here to show you the math one. And what I'd like to do is just step you through what you will see in every grade, in every document. So the common pieces to it. So what to look for. There will obviously be differences in the kinds of things that are incorporated as far as assessments, but nonetheless, the formatting will be very similar. And so that should help you to understand the pieces that you kind of need to navigate through. So at the top of our document, and I will go into the original document in just a second, but you're going to always see a band that goes across the top. That bar across the top will be the same. It'll just match the color of the curriculum that you're dealing with. So in this case, since we're doing math, it'll be that brownish orange color. In science, it would be the green color. So I'm actually going to go into the document so that we can just work from there. So you again see this, oh, we've gone to the bottom here. So when we go to the very top of our document, you see this bar that I was talking about. And you will have hyperlinked in there the competencies, the competency progressions, those 8 that we're working on, the literacy and the numeracy progressions. When you click and just hover over these, every one of these will take you directly to the New Learn Alberta site and directly to the competencies or to the numeracy and literacy progressions. So these are all going to be interactive. And if you're ever looking at which of those competencies I should be matching to what I'm going to be teaching, then that's a fast way for you to get there. This section here will be eventually orange, but it will contain for you a math planner, and Ted Zeroni will put a hyperlink in there for you. He will go in and create a planning document that you would be able to just simply use drop-down menus for all of your outcomes, for all of your concepts, for all of your verbs that you're going to be using. It's a very impressive document and a great place to just create your lesson plans and your unit plans right on that document. He will also incorporate a short video in there to show you how to use it. So watch for this box and just check back frequently. The next box is the interactive concepts, skills, and numbered outcomes. So we are using the numbered outcomes document. It is the same curriculum document that New Learn Alberta has sitting in the site for your grade in math, only we numbered the outcomes. And it just helps us to break this document down and make it a little bit easier for referencing to when you're saving documents. If you don't want to use the numbered outcomes document, you don't have to. You're more than welcome to just use the regular one. That's entirely up to you. But this one also, I'm going to click it on so that you can see what is in here. We've also gone through, and with the work that was done at ERLC, we have also hyperlinked for you the meanings of the verbs. So if you're not sure what each of those verbs actually is, because remember, we have to teach those to the students and assess their ability to carry them out, then these will help you out as well. And same thing with any definitions, any terms that are in here, those are all hyperlinked within that document. Okay, let's keep going. So this is grade 3. This is just a sample. This is grade 3, number 3. So in number, there were 4 learner outcomes. I'm showing you the third one. And it had this organizing idea, guiding question, and this was the learner outcome for it. Below that, you will always find the summative assessments. Anything in this document is only a support. It is not a requirement. It is not a mandate. It's just to get you started, to maybe show you what some questions could look like for that particular unit. But in no way are we suggesting that these are the only things that you would have to use. You can look at them, you can change them, you can use some of them, you can use all of them. That is entirely up to you, how you want to navigate through and use these. But this is where we've placed the summatives. And again, there will be a video right here that you can just click on, and it will just take you, it's a very short 8-minute video talking about surface deep and transfer. In other words, what is it in the world of assessment when we talk about surface deep and transfer that I would look for in a question to know the difference between them? And what does it mean to be surface teaching? And what does it mean to be deep teaching? And so those are really important for you to know. You can't kind of skip over this one, because as you go through the next piece in the assessment, you'll see that we've identified them by surface and deep. So it'll be important to know what those mean. Anything that is in this document that's an assessment will be hyperlinked in such a way that you can preview it. If you want to use it, you can click it on. It will download it to your computer on your desktop, and it will be in an editable form so that you can add in questions, take out questions, change them if you need to differentiate based on the levels of the students in your class. Below that, you'll have a bar which has, if there's multiple cusps in that outcome, in this case, there were 3 different rows of cusps in the third learner outcome. If you don't want to go to the first one because you're working in the second one, you can just click this on and it will automatically take you to that in this document. You don't have to scroll through if you don't want to. For us right now, we're just going to keep going. So we're in the third learner outcome in number for grade 3. And this is point 1, meaning this is all the information about the first cusp. So below this, what you'll find is any prerequisite knowledge and vocabulary that would be helpful if you're going to use that first cusp in your teaching right off the bat. So here's some vocabulary. You'll find links to pre-assessment. So if you have the Nelson pre-assessment tests and you're using that as pre-assessments before you start teaching, we have but identified what pages you would find those on in the books and what grades you would look in, because it's not always going to be in your grade. They're based on the outcome, not necessarily in the grade grouping. And if you have any further need of deeper assessment, then that will be identified for you to go to the leaps and bounds books. The I know and I can statements are listed for each of the cusps. Reminder that the I know are the metacognitive pieces, the knowledge pieces. The I can statements tend to usually refer to the skill pieces that go on. There are some suggestions and times for learning recovery if the kids are not where they should be. That would also be addressed in the pre-assessments and the leaps and bounds. Enhancements, if you have some high flyers and you're looking for them because they've already done in the pre-assessments everything that you really needed them to do, maybe they need some more challenge. And then we actually get into the cusp right here. So you see that these are the knowledge, understanding, skills, and procedures that go in the first cusp of the third learner outcome. When you're looking at this, you will see exactly the cut and paste that you would have found on the New Learn Alberta site. The only difference that will be here right now is that you're going to find the skill and procedure is not all listed together. We've actually broken them out so that we focus on what it was that the skill was supposed to be looked at in combination with the understanding and the knowledge. So what does it mean to compose in the knowledge that we're supposed to teach and the understanding that we're trying to get to? Remember, it's the understanding that's the most important of the 3 columns because it ties the knowledge and skills and procedures together. So you will find the highlighted verb in there. You will find some achievement indicators, like what does that really mean? It might be unpack it a little bit for you. Maybe you're new to this grade and haven't taught that before. Here's an illustrative example to give you some ideas of what it looks like to teach this. And then in the last column, you'll have formative assessments. Again, here will be a hyperlink to that same assessment video, that short one, that explains what surface and deep is, because each time you see a formative assessment here, we've identified whether this is a surface one or a deep one. In other words, is this one surface, meaning it's really just getting to, I've just taught you some very basic information. Maybe you've just learned how to define some of these words. You're doing some matching of it. That's a surface kind of activity. But when I start taking concepts and relating them together, then we start getting into deep. And so these are suggested. They're just ideas that you can use. They're not in any way saying these are the only two that you should use in this whole area. You would probably have lots of your own that you would use, and we will be adding more. So as you continuously check back, you may see more of them in each of these sections. So it will look like this all the way down. That knowledge, the understanding, and here are the skills in that third column just broken out. And so that it makes it a little bit more easier for you to see what that means to relate multiplication to skip counting. What would I do? What are some sample ideas? And again, some sample formatives that you can use as you're moving through. You have the verb relate, another one for model. You have another one for visualize and model. And what does that look like? When there is no skill and procedure, but there's a knowledge component that's listed in your knowledge, and it really needs to be unpacked in a different way, we've actually put it into this column of skill and procedure because it does have some ways that we can do that. So we identified it as it's not a verb, it came directly from knowledge. But here's a way that you could unpack that. And again, you've got some samples in all three columns to help you understand that further. So another one for knowledge, a recognize, an investigate, and another knowledge one. And then below those, you will find a section called resources. So your colleagues have gone through and they have matched anything in mathology, which you have access to for free on the new Learn Alberta. So what of mathology fits to this cusp that we just unpacked for you? What, if you're using Math Up in your school division, what of the Math Up fits to this particular cusp? Are there any links to other grades, or sorry, existing textbooks that we have right now in the schools? For example, Math Focus, Math Makes Sense. You might have those in your school already. Where do this new cusp, this new outcome that we have, where does that link into our existing resources? So those have already been identified. Although this is a grade 3 resource, remember, now it could be coming from a grade 4 book. So we've given you whatever areas we found some of that information in that you could go to and use that as a resource for teaching with the students. Over on the side here, you have the NCETM. These are teacher guides and resources that we have been given permission to use from the UK. They are phenomenal. In addition to this, there's other websites that the teachers found that they've included for you. Karen Bloomhagen is gone in and she has linked for you any gizmos that are posted on the new Learn Alberta and additional ones that you'll find on the Explore Learning site that match to this particular cusp. If you don't have a login to get into the new to the Explore Learning site, you can just click this on and she will facilitate that with you. All of these are already posted on the new Learn Alberta and you have free access to those. There are additional resources posted in here for you. There will be Indigenous lesson plans where it is related. If it doesn't have a good match, then we will take these out, but we do have a number of them that are being developed right now. There are a number already included in the document, so you just need to scroll through and see where you're at. Problem solving will also have a section put in here, and that will be coming as well. So again, this is a living document. Check back frequently, and you'll find that you will have new additions added to it. So we're in the second row of cusps. The same procedures will happen. You will see the same things going on all the way through. The vocabulary, the essential skills, what pre-assessments, the I know, I can statements. So I'm going to scroll through just to the bottom of the third cusp, because that is the only place that there will be one additional piece of information, and that is right here, called the literacy connection. So here you have a number of your colleagues have been working on What books are available? What books might there already be in our library? What books might I share with I could share this list with my librarian, and she could look at it and say, oh yeah, we have this one. And now she knows what to link it to. It belongs to grade 3, outcome number 3. Or maybe she's looking to buy some books to support the math program. So this is what you'll find at the end, the very end of each of the documents will be a literacy section that you'd be able to access and share with your librarians at your school. It's a pretty big document. This is only one learner outcome in grade 3. So remember, if you think of every organizing idea that you have and every learner outcome, there will be a document for those. So it's a vast document, not a small one by any stretch of the imagination. And we hope that it will give you some good support, especially getting started if you're new to that particular grade or that particular subject. These are living documents. And so checking back frequently for updates will be there. We're not going to post that there have been updates added. We're hoping to go in once a month, update the documents so that you can pretty much check back once a month. Also, we're looking for feedback. If you find something that is an error, please don't hesitate to let us know. But also, we'd like you to share your expertise. If you have questions that I've got a great one, that would have fit in there really well, please don't hesitate to share them with us. We'll gladly put them up there. The more we can do, the less work it is for everyone. So many hands make a lot of light work here. So the more we can get sharing in, the better it is. If you do share something with us and you didn't create it by yourself from scratch, please give us the source where you got it from. And I'm just going to mention to you very quickly that when you are looking at free things from websites where they say free downloads for the teacher, free teacher pay teacher downloads, please double check to make sure that you can access that free download and post it to a public website. In most cases, if you email the person that you're getting that free download from and ask them if you can post it to a website, most of the time they'll say yes. But a lot of times they will say, the only way I want you to get that free access is to log into my website so they can keep track of how many people are using their site, which is only fair if they've done the work. And then you can download it. We need to know that just because it's free on the website does not mean that we can just take it and share it with anybody in the school. It's usually a free download for one teacher for their class. So if you can just double check that and send us your source, that would be great. So again, I want to thank all of the groups that have been helping and continue to help in getting this document up and running. We are working hard behind the scenes, and we welcome, as we said, any feedback that you have. And just thank your colleagues in each of your zones for doing the work that they have. If you have any feedback, please feel free to connect with either Julia or Cheryl or myself. You can send questions to any one of the three of us as well. If you have any additional resources that you want to send, anything, feel free to connect with one of the three of us. Thanks very much, and we hope that the document is useful to you.